Hello YouTube, give me a break man here, a little feedback here. And I want to say thank you again to Junkienet who brought me back this bottle of Bundaberg from Australia when she came to Japan, and this t-shirt. She came to visit me a couple months ago, I guess now, yeah. Anyway, I love Johnny Cash. I'm a big Johnny Cash fan. I also love Kristofferson, and Kris Kristofferson wrote a song called "To Beat the Devil," and it's about a young man who's cold and hungry, and he's out in the cold, shivering in Nashville, and he's wanting whiskey and he's wanting beans. You know, he's hungry, and it's been a month since his last payday. So, with a stomach full of empty and a pocket full of dreams, he swallows his pride and steps inside of a bar, a tavern. And there's an old man sitting at the bar, and the old man looks at his guitar and says, "Come up here, boy, and show us what you got." And the young man says, "I'm dry." So the old man buys him a beer. The old man looks at him and says, "It's a tough life, ain't it? You ain't making any money, are you?" The young man says, "You've been reading my mail." The old man says, "Give me that guitar. I've got something you ought to hear." And he laid it onto him. And this is what he said. "If you waste your time talking to the people who don't listen to the things that you are saying, who do you think is going to hear? And if you should die explaining how the things that they complain about are things they could be changing, who do you think is going to care?" And when I first heard this song, I thought, yeah, what am I doing wasting my time trying to argue with people who don't listen to me? You know? I should just talk to the people who do listen to me. Talk to the people I can communicate to, the people who do hear me, you know? That's what I thought to myself. And I thought that's what the song meant for a long, long time. But years later, I realized that's not what the song is about. And he goes on in the song and he says, well, the old man was a stranger, but he'd heard the song before, back when he'd been locked on the wrong side of the door, a failure, right? When he was a failure. "And no one stood behind me but my shadow on the floor." And I'll put the lyrics over here. "And lonesome was more than a state of mind. You see, the devil haunts a hungry man. And if you don't want to join him, you got to beat him." So the old man, in my mind, is the devil. The young man says, "I ain't saying I beat the devil, but I drank his beer for nothing. Then I stole his song." And the young man sings, "And you still can hear me singing to the people who don't listen to the things that I am saying, praying someone's gonna hear. And I guess I'll die complaining how the things that they complain about are things they could be changing, hoping someone's gonna care. I was born a lonely singer and I'm bound to die the same, but I've got to feed the hunger in my soul. And if I never have a nickel, I won't ever die ashamed, 'cause I don't believe that no one wants." And I know I can't sing, but that's not the point of the song. The point of the song is the lyrics, beautiful lyrics. And the point of the song is that we often spend our time singing to people who don't want to hear or don't listen, and we think it's a waste of time, but maybe it's not. And I gotta say that here on YouTube, there have been many instances in which I have been singing to people who seem to turn deaf and blind, but actually that's not always the case. Yeah, what I'm saying is it's important to keep singing about what you care about, even if you think no one's listening, even if you think no one's hearing you, even if you think you're just wasting your time, because once in a while you do reach someone who actually is listening, and finding that common ground is pretty satisfying. I gotta say, there's been quite a few people up here I've debated with or argued with, but in the end we have found some common ground, and it's been pretty satisfying. So to those of you, it's something that's very different here in Japan is we don't feel compelled to give our opinions and argue this way, but I guess that's part of me that will never change no matter how long I live here. It's my desire to, or my compulsion to argue with people. and to give my opinion, not just argue, but just to give your opinion. So it's important to do that and to keep singing, even though you might think you might be wasting your time. So I want to say thank you to all of you who have heard me, and thank you to all of you who've disagreed and have sung your song back to me, thinking I don't listen. But I am trying to listen, and I hope you're trying to listen, and I hope we can find common ground. whether, whatever the issue may be. So, as much as some people tell me to STFU, I'm going to keep on singing, and I hope you do the same. That's my thought for today. Thanks a lot for watching and listening, and I'll talk to you soon.